Hey, Internet. Welcome back to Same-ish Different Day, the podcast where we continue the march into madness. I'm Raza Malik, and I'm joined with my Amazeballs co-host, Bayley Nargang. Also featuring the lovely Wine Mom, the arbiter of everything TikTok and YouTube.
Hey, it's Wine Mom.
Bayley here. Gotta drop that reminder that you can find this show on any streaming service you use. Remember to leave a sassy review, and you want to bash us or our opinions generally? Well, you can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and maybe some other places in the future.
I join these guys weekly to keep their egos in check as we break down complex social issues and talk about why your kids shouldn't be watching family vloggers.
We talk about real-ish on a real level. Ain't got time for the Twitters? Don't worry, we have collectively wasted our existence combing the internet for you.
Also, before these two get carried away, don't be shy. Join our Discord for the inside scoop. You can also support us on Patreon, where you can work your way up our very own class system. And don't worry, it's pay to win.
So, welcome back to another episode of Same Shit, Different Day, where we try not to rip each other's heads off.
Let's get it.
Oh, man.
Welcome to Same-ish Different Day, the podcast with a name that we can't say anymore. This week, we wanted to talk about the metaverse and some of the other digital-related confusing things going on in the world right now. So, the Zuckerberg, as of late, literally changed Facebook and all of his companies' names to just Meta to prepare for the shift in society, right? Now, Go.
Correction, he only changed the parent company's name. Facebook is still Facebook, Instagram is still Instagram. The parent company's name is just changed. That's it. Sorry.
That does help. No, that does help. So that's interesting because then it's still under the umbrella of the company, right?
Yes.
And that is what is kind of creepy about this metaverse thing because it is so encompassing of so many different industries, right? When we're looking at the metaverse, we're not just talking about doing one activity online or just chatting online. They want you to like invest a good portion of your life. And
Online,
that's
yeah.
what the most successful product in this field is looking to do, is like who can consume the most users' time at any given rate, right?
Mhm.
So
Okay.
along those lines, I was trying to ponder if you're trying to figure it out on your own individual thoughts, like how would I enter the metaverse, right? Facebook pops up, it's like put on your goggles. What are you gonna do? You're gonna chat with your friends? Do you go to the marketplace? Like that could be a cool concept. I am curious on your average everyday user, like y'all, what would you do if you had to enter a metaverse to participate in anything, really?
So I think I can speak for Wine Mom as well to say that I've left Facebook behind, so I don't think I'm going to be using this. So I don't know if this is for like people like me. I think this is more so for the people like our parents to a degree, or like people who just want to socialize with their friends without having any sort of um uh like uh like leaving their house or like
Okay.
actually going out, like Ready Player One in a way.
Right.
So
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
on, Mom.
So,
I want to hear your
no, what
sass.
were we going to. Well,
Because okay, I'll give my presentation here and then why Mom pop in. Is my thing is
Okay.
what I'm evaluating is like, what if it's not Facebook though, Raza, right? Like the thing
Mhm.
is these companies are all going to be competing for who can be the first one to engage us into a virtual reality. So when we're talking about Facebook in the metaverse, right? What about the competitors?
Mhm.
What happens when Amazon does that? What happens when there's
What do you
definitely
mean?
going to be like a Twitch
Think
one,
of
you
that.
know what I mean? Like what happens if
Yeah,
you then pop into that world? The metaverse is more so a concept because the internet is going to develop into a new function. So when you're saying, yeah, the
yes, yeah.
Facebook one sucks, you don't think
Hmm.
there's any other way you could engage with the internet if someone were to be like, here's your VR goggles, Raza. go on the Twitter sphere. You get to just yell at whoever you want on the internet on Twitter now.
I low key because I have a bias for Twitter, so if Twitter gets it, I'll be like, this is cool. But
Oh gosh.
I would take advantage of it, but like I don't know how I would use it because it's a whole different way of of engaging now because now you actually have to like you're actually talking, you're actually like people know. I think these things are gonna you're gonna lose your I have a hard time saying this word, anonymity. I think
Mm-hmm.
so I
Anonymity.
yeah, so I won't be able to do what I do now. It'll be a little bit harder to do. So I'll, I'll
Yeah.
I'll have to learn. I'll have to relearn everything from like the ground
Yeah.
up.
Um, I mean, I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to build up engagement and sort of like suck people into this like, I don't know, Blade Runner type world, I guess, or something. Um, but it's not my vibe, if I'm
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
I feel like I already don't care about Facebook. I just find it to be just a not good place. It's filled with a lot of scammy things now. So it's not for me. But
yeah,
also I feel like it's beneficial in some ways because people who have social anxieties, maybe it would be nice for them to be able to get on those like virtual realities and do things. But I feel like as someone with social anxiety, it would trigger me in a way that I wouldn't love.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah.
yeah, so it's and like because I asked Bailey about it earlier because I was like, I don't really understand what we're talking about. And so he
Mhm.
was saying that there's like this virtual Walmart concept. And it's like, why would I virtually go to Walmart when I can
That
just order online
that's
from my computer chair?
literally the comment I told Bailey last night. I was just like,
Yeah.
This is so useless." It's just
Right.
like, imagine a time setting up the VR headset, and then you
Right.
have to log in, do everything. In that time, you could have already either gone on
You
Amazon
could
or
have
something,
driven there.
or gone to Walmart. Yeah,
Okay.
and yeah, driven there and did
Because
everything.
here's a big thing, right? This is a big
Mhm.
thing. I think when it comes to technology and like when it comes to like internet purchasing and like putting everything on the internet, it's like we're not living in a world where you can click something and then it's automatically manifested in front of you, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
And someone like me, whenever I get into like maybe this is TMI, but whenever I have a manic episode, usually what helps me is like I like instant gratification. So when I'm feeling a little like overwhelmed and understimulated or whatever the case may be, I'm like, I'm gonna go to Walmart and buy a thing. And like the instant gratification of like going to Walmart, picking up the thing off the shelf, buying it, bringing it home and putting it on, I'm like, yes.
Mhm.
But if I had to like order it through the metaverse and then I had to wait for it to get to me, the gratification's already gone. Like
Yeah.
it didn't do what I
Hmm.
needed it to do, right? And I think people who have those issues, like I don't know if I would really call them an issue, but people that have those traits, I guess, like are going to be kind of left behind almost or forgotten, which
Hmm.
is kind of like not
Uh,
cool. And
and
then
it's
that
counterintuitive too.
yeah, and then it
Yeah.
kind of gets into that whole like disability argument, right? Like
Mhm.
the ableism thing. And it's like
Yeah.
you would think that technology would not be ableist, right? Because it's giving everybody a fair and equal opportunity to have
Mhm.
access to certain things, but it's like maybe it won't actually do that like they think it will.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, and if, especially in a capitalist society that we live in, technology is always it's advertised to be like super accessible, but like not everybody has access to the same sort of like technology. It's like very like I
Yeah.
guarantee you the VR headsets for this metaverse will be like upwards of a couple grand because they're like normal headsets. I was looking at the prices of them and they're still quite expensive. So
Yeah.
metaverse is going to try to compete with that, and I don't think that's going to help drive the prices down. It's just going to
Well,
make it more competitive. Yeah.
And
that's
it's
a huge
already
thing.
rampant with misinformation, right? So even
Hmm.
if technological access isn't an issue, we already have people out there won't go do public safety health measures because of something that they read on, even on Facebook, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it becomes this oxymoron of like who's going to participate, and then you're telling me that someone's not going to come up with some theory about how it's unhealthy for you and is wasting your time and it's a control program, you know, like there's a good
Absolutely. Yeah.
portion of the
Well,
population that won't adopt the technology.
right. But I think the point of like because I didn't even think about physical accessibility, like being able to obtain the tools needed, right? Because
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
think like when because it'll take a long time be universally accessible, right? Because computers now, okay, how long have computers been around? Not to date myself, but I remember computers first getting popular in like the very late 90s. Like
Mhm.
Yeah, late
that's
90s, early 2000s. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah, and that's when like around the first time we had computer lab. I had a computer lab in my elementary school, you know, and like that
Mhm.
was the accessibility to a computer. There was no computer at home, and literally not until I was of an age to work a job and afford my own PC did I actually have like a computer that I could use
Yeah, yeah.
regularly.
Mhm.
And really only now in 2022 are you able to get like a severely basic laptop for $100 to $200
Yeah, yeah,
only
Yeah.
now.
yeah.
So imagine waiting for a virtual reality set to be accessible because they're ridiculously expensive right now.
Yeah, like the one on Steam. I forget what the Steam one is called. It has like all this like gizmos and gadgets. It's like 8K and get blind even quicker. For like $1,200. I was like, there are people who spend that money, and I just want to
Yeah.
know, like, w- and I have a friend who's a lot like that. He's like me who buys like all the latest games and whatnot. The only difference is that I actually beat the games I buy, but he um
I
bu-
see.
buys all this technology, and then I go to his house. It's like, bro, it's just still in his box. He bought this like 4 months ago, and it's like an Oculus VR headset. I was like,
Yeah.
Okay, so
why are
hold
you
on
even
one
But
paying
second.
this?
my one thing about accessibility is that I gotta say is you can do it with your mobile phone, and that is most likely what they'll do. You'll get the little strap to put your fucking Samsung in. That's probably how it's gonna happen.
Oh God.
Well, there's
You know,
still a lot of people that
you look
can't
at that when you're like,
afford those kind of phones. No, but the one big thing that you don't think about either is people who are like hoarders of things. So
yes.
people who go out and like buy these things because they're like, "Oh, this is going to be the next hot thing that
Mhm.
everybody wants and everybody's going to need. Let me buy as many of them as possible so that nobody else can have them." You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, and I think
So
for a while, weirdos like us will have a lot of value in that space because you won't be able to translate certain physical items into the digital world, right? So, me as
yes.
an eBay reseller, right, I got
Yeah.
these wacky items. I'm the only one that can bring like, oh hey, look at this cool thing I have. Whether it's on the TikTok verse or whatever the fuck, however we use the internet in the future. Someone like you, Wine Mom, right? You will
Mhm.
provide like an intangible value to be able to describe a true crime story in a way in that environment that it can't just show you, you know?
Right.
So it's
Right.
like it will be interesting to see how assets are brought to the table that you just can't create because we're not going to have holograms. We're not going to
See,
be able to fucking dance around with our friends. So
the thing is,
Actually, Ready Player One told me that's going to happen, Bailey. So you're wrong.
get in
Sorry.
there, Wine Mom.
I, I was just going to say like I see the benefit. I see the idea. I just don't think that it's as well thought out as it could be.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Like I think because Mark Zuckerberg is seeing the VR space in his eyes take off, but you ask any sort of tech guy, they'd be like, it's still like it's still like years off. It's not perfected. But since he sees it like in his own world taking off, he's gonna like invest into it, irregardless of who can access it or not, because he sees
Right.
numbers. Or you
I
you
think
also, yeah, sorry.
I think, in my professional opinion, I think he panicked because he's losing to TikTok. I think it was always his plan. I think he always wanted to do this. And there's reports and news articles of him talking about it in the past. But I
Oh,
think he pulled the trigger so quickly because Facebook's losing money. They're losing subscribers in North America,
yeah,
right?
which
Like,
is so ironic.
unheard of, right?
Yeah.
So he's panicking, so he had to do a switch up because we got to get to the next step because everyone is headed that way. That's why these
Hmm.
discussions are critical to have. In some way or format, we're going to have to engage with the digital world as an accessory to our reality. We
Yeah,
already do with our phones. There's, in some capacity, it's going to happen. So the bros like Zucks, they're just trying to beat everyone else to it.
yeah,
Mm.
but yeah, and but like it's also kind of jokes because like the people who are going to be using this new product are going to be the boomers, because that's the primary base now of Facebook, because everyone else has
Right.
probably gone to TikTok or Instagram or places like that. But Instagram is still part of the whole metaverse thing. But
Yeah,
so,
but
yeah, sorry.
that's why it's a scary, bigger dilemma when we're talking about companies other than Facebook participating in that, right? Because that is a
Yeah,
much larger audience. What happens when it's the Twitchverse or the Twitter sphere or some
yeah,
crap like that?
and and then I think I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but like if countries have like legislation towards this, like to like say what can happen and what can't, I think at that point maybe it'll be like easier to deal with, but I don't know if that's
They
like
don't even
completely
crypto.
accurate.
Crypto still is not regulated. There is no way they will
Yeah,
regulate the monetization of
it's only
digital
banned
spaces.
though. I think they'll either ban it then
I,
that's the other thing.
you think they'll
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
ban it?
Well, not ban it here because we're like obsessed with it, but like in other places, they'll get rid of it. I don't know.
You
I'm
said
just going by like,
of what though, right? Like, because if it's a technology that interfaces with their everyday life, how do you just ban it?
mhm. I don't, that's for us to find out, and these big governmental bodies to know, I guess. I don't know.
I have less faith than you, my friend. You have a lot of
I
faith in the government.
because I'm a proper. No, I'm kidding. Anyways, but yeah, that's where I think it'll explode though. So yeah.
You're a pessimist too, though. So, my mom, how do you feel about it though? Like, cause you're all in a middle ground of tech stuff. Do you think, in any capacity, this would be appealing to adopt to people?
It's hard to say because, like, I know. See, you categorize me as like a middle ground as far as tech goes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a super tech head. Like, I want to have a fully smart home at some point. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea that I can speak to a Google and ask it to do things for me. I love that. Of course, I'm sympathetic to the whole invasion of privacy, but also I'm realistic about the fact that like people who think you have privacy in any way, I don't know why we're still holding on to that concept.
Mm-hmm.
This is all technology world. Of course, that's not the case. Um, but as far as like the metaverse thing, I just feel like it's just not the vibe. It's not where I want to go with technology, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Like I was speaking to one of my friends about this, and he's just like, "Who is this for?" Because in his world, he's like a computer science guy. Everybody in his world is making fun of it. They're like, they can this is going to be so hard to adapt to because it's like the things they'll the things they'll have to teach to people, like, and the things that they'll have to like the whole infrastructure around it they'll have to invest and like
See,
uh
I see it as much more of like a trend, like an entertainment company. You know what I mean? Like it will release more. Like
what happens.
like some kids on Roblox will start buying merch through Roblox, and then all of a sudden, oh, they can buy a computer through Roblox, and then oh, their parents then try this through. You know what I mean? Like I think it will be much more of a gentle progression than like, oh, this consumer audience needs to invest in this new field, because I think it will be much more of a societal change.
I don't know. I just feel like this is another way to invest in that, like, because okay, let's be realistic. We're talking about a Walmart, but we know that that's not where the end goal is, right?
Yeah.
Like we know the end goal is like a dance
Mm-hmm.
club.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about like a dance club. I'm talking about like,
A dance
you
club.
know, a dance
Yeah, yeah.
A
club.
dance club.
A
Yeah.
Like
dance club.
in all reality, like ever since when computers first came out and there was that whole like in-view world where people were going and having those interpersonal relationships
Yo.
with their little figures, like that stuff is still going on. It's very heavy, it's very popular,
Yeah.
it's very weird, and it just feels like every time new technology is being invented, we're just getting closer and closer to that stuff being more
Yeah.
like outwardly physical while also being like virtual.
Okay, so Wine Mom, save this
Uh,
idea. You're gonna make us millions. We're gonna go to one of the popular websites where you can watch content that we can't talk about here, that gets
Mhm.
you excited, and you're gonna
Mhm.
create a metaverse for them. So you put on the goggles, and it's just all going on around you. You just
Yes.
put the headset on, and you can just see
Exactly.
everything
eyes
you want
wide
to see.
shut shit going on.
Yeah. That's
Isn't
it.
it real wild?
You can just say that, and then people like pick it up on that.
Mhm.
Great movie, by the way. Um, what was I gonna say? I feel like, what was I gonna say? Yeah. And this whole concept isn't new. This is what people seem to forget.
Mhm.
Like Second Life was pretty much doing this.
Exactly.
Um, I played the shit out of that, by the way, and that was a waste of a year of my life. Um,
You played
but
a
that
year of
was,
Second Life?
I mean, like back then, bro. Like thanks to WoW, I got hella obsessed about things.
We
Uh,
need a YouTube video on this. We need a YouTube video on this. My time in Second Life, please.
Oh
I'll have to
god.
like see if I can get my account back. But yeah, it's just like this concept has been done before, and it's been done like we're it's just but not to this level where now it's
It's just getting
actually
more.
into where it's a, like a big part of our life now. Like
Yeah.
it's as if
Yeah.
we are checking the, the news on our smartphone. Now it's going to be
It's
like
just
it's going to be there.
it's really becoming more physical and more intimate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
like
that's
can I just say one more point?
get in there. Get in there.
Like Microsoft had something. I don't know if they're still if they abandoned it or if it's still going. They had something called HoloLens, um,
Mm.
which was it was premiered at E3 like like several years ago, and it served as a multi-purpose thing. So for example, if Wine Mom, if you're playing Minecraft, put on the HoloLens, and then you could literally pick up things on your table and like
Mm.
do things stuff like that. And then if you have the thing on your eyes, you can look at a wall and it'll have the weather, the news, uh, your
Yeah.
your Twitter feed or whatever. So
Well,
it's just getting more and more, as you said, intimate. It's just getting more
yeah.
and more in your face. Yeah.
Well, especially it's like this is not the first time they've tried. Like Snapchat tried to do this with their goggles as
I didn't know
well.
that.
There's a company right now, I wish I could remember the name. They're also creating glasses that are doing
So now
something
you're
similar.
talking like augmented reality versus like
Mhm.
virtual reality. Yeah.
which is going to be
Yeah.
one
It's
game
the
at
same
some
thing, really. Yeah.
point.
Well, they're like very different, right? Like
Well, no,
augmented reality means we could still move around and interact with our
yeah,
real world, right?
but what I'm saying is that at some point, those two things will be put into one thing at some point,
Mhm.
and you'll
I
be able to do a hybrid because you can already see you could have seen that stuff in like the Connect to a degree.
Yeah.
So you think you won't be able to distinguish between augmented reality and virtual reality?
Uh, if it's like the Matrix, no. I mean, like, and that's like, I'm talking like not like anytime soon, like in the next 30, 40,
Yeah.
50 years when
So
technology is able to speed up.
okay. So in a similar sense then to like switch on to our second topic, but then also break down a similar concept here, right?
Mm.
So we're gonna start talking about like NFTs and the crypto bros and the changing like economics of all this crap. First is like tied to this talk is one of the buzzword terms that a lot of these crypto bros are talking about often is called like Web3. All right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you have to explain that to us because I don't know what that
So
is. I've seen it.
I can break it down in that. So when the internet was first created, the first version of the internet,
Mhm.
right? It was you submit a request for information, you are given information to read. That was how you interact with the internet, right? Web
Uh,
2, the second generation, how the internet changed was the introduction of social media. I give
Okay.
you data, you give me serotonin, right? I give you
Okay.
data, you give me content. And
Okay.
that is now how the internet currently functions on a
Okay.
transactional basis. The
Okay.
user is actively giving their own resources so that they can receive a service, right? So now
Mhm.
when we're talking about Web3 and the metaverse, right, is how does the user interaction change with how they interface with the internet, right? So,
Mhm.
like you're saying, augmented reality becoming one and the same. If I am now a user of the internet in the Web3 era, maybe it's not a matter of logging on. Maybe when I wake up, I'm already connected to the internet.
Oh, that's so now that I see why a lot of these bros and antitrust bros are kind of worried about that. That makes sense. Okay.
Because how does, what is the, no one knows it. That's why everyone's talking about it in such a crypto bro-y sense. Because
Mhm.
what is the next form of how we interact with this weird
I
machine
mean,
we've created?
it's no different than people waking up, sitting on their phone for 5 minutes, anything.
Exactly. So it's kind of terrifying but also intriguing. So when we're looking at that, when we're talking about all the crypto bros, what they're running to is trying to buy these NFTs or make these digital spaces like a metaverse where I could buy a house within a virtual reality space because they're trying to beat everyone to the punch because no one knows which one's going to hit. But in some way, it's fucking guaranteed that we will change the way that we interact. Now, whether it's because some bro started a really cool video game that I can buy a house in, or Amazon creates New World and all of a sudden people want to buy medieval houses in an RPG. There's going to be something that slaps with someone.
Mhm.
So you kind of triggered a bit of a nerd thing in me. The very kind of popular video game called Watch Dogs sort of talks about this, how like we're all connected no matter what, because the city itself of San Francisco is connected to uh, like an OS, meaning
Mm-hmm.
everybody is online at all times, even if their cell phone isn't powered on. And I think that is the direction society is going to go to because we're already seeing a lot of like like Japan and Korea are like that. They're like South Korea. They're like where all the citizens are connected to each other at a on a on an
Mhm.
OS, and
Mhm.
that's how they communicate, and that's how all their stuff gets like involved within that server. Now the thing about that, the issue is that how if you're good at like hacking, like, and it's because it's
Yeah.
one thing, you can easily cripple an entire country. So that's the main
Yeah, but if
problem.
everything's on a
Yeah.
blockchain, if
Hmm.
everything's you can decentralize until you re-centralize again, right? As much as crypto
Bingo.
decentralizes currency, once we all invest in it, it's just another thing you can take out.
See, the thing is, like, I fear that the more we invest on being solely an internet or a virtual world, is exactly the fact that we leave ourselves very vulnerable to people who are smart enough to hack the system.
Yeah.
Because if you're putting all of your financials into that, like you're making yourself very vulnerable.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
Mr. Robot showed how easily it is, how
Oh yeah.
easy it is to literally go into somebody's life, because all three of us are on the same level. Like, all of our lives are documented
Hmm.
online, and because of that, it's easy to like take one small portion of our life and open it up from a hack. So like
Hmm.
Well,
that's the thing.
the
Stream. Be careful of the stuff you put online, because they can come back and haunt you.
and bro, you want that the extra scary lesson from Mr. Robot is that how quick and easy it is. If there's an economic crash, watch Amazon comes out with their own coin. Fucking the US government comes out with their own Bitcoin. As soon as there's
See,
one disaster, there's going to be just all going
Like
to
30
flip.
coins. Yeah.
the thing is, like, you know how Rozzy, you just said, like, be careful what you put on the internet
Hmm.
because it doesn't go away.
Hmm.
I low key feel like what we think the internet is now,
Hmm.
like how we access it now and like how we use it and like websites and all of that stuff.
Hmm.
I think once technology has reached the point where wherever whoever is pushing it gets to where they want it to be,
Yeah.
all that stuff that we're like so worried about being on the I don't think it's going to matter anymore. I think it's like the way that we use the internet, it's not going to exist. Like people aren't going to log onto a computer and go, "Oh,
Yeah, you're right.
this person's old Facebook account." Because right now, what do we use? The Wayback Machine. Nobody
Yeah.
in the future is going to use a
Yeah.
Wayback Machine. They are
Yeah.
not going to care about what we were doing in 2020. You know what I
Mm.
mean? So, like, yeah, obviously, for now, in the current state that you're in, worry about
Mm.
what you're putting online. But also, I feel like this version of the internet is not going to be a thing because the internet has already
Yeah.
significantly changed from when it started.
Yeah. So like,
Hmm.
you're right. Like, our behavior will change with the behavior
Hmm.
of the internet. Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's actually a really good point. God damn.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's like the weird philosophy of all this internet question
Like
talk, right?
literally,
It's like we
literally
how do we
websites I
predict
don't
it?
think will exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
just
It
could
just
fucking who knows? It could be your own digital space could be some weird chip you have in your head and you've got so much bandwidth you can hang out with your homies on, you know?
I'm sorry, but that's bringing out the nerd in me. Cyberpunk 2070, 2077. You basically, I read an interesting Vice article that's saying this is a very, it could be closer to that world where we're all connected through a brain chip, which can be
Mhm.
hacked. If you're a politician and if you have a brain chip, somebody can on the other side of the world can fry that
See,
brain chip.
okay, now we're getting really wild in our conversation here, but I think that if that was to
Can
happen,
happen. It could
but if
happen.
listen, I think if that was to happen, right? If brain chips were going to be a thing, because like let's be
Yeah.
real, there's a couple on TikTok who has turned their entire home into a chip activated home that only the couple have in their arms. So it's
Yeah,
something that people are working on and going towards.
yeah.
I
Hmm.
think somebody like a politician, there's no way that they would be allowed to have a chip in their head. I
I
think it automatically would be removed or there would be some sort of system put in place to like
yeah.
negate that possibility.
Yeah, 100%. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, I do think that's gonna happen. But as we see politicians, they're usually the first ones to like jump on these things
You
because
think the
of
politicians are just
national
gonna get all the
security.
chips shot up in their head right away? I
Well,
don't know. That sounds like a big
look at
security
Trudeau,
risk.
man.
I
Look at
feel like
Trudeau.
they would be. I really do feel like they would be the one group that wouldn't,
Yeah, that's what I
just
feel
for
like.
security reasons.
Yeah,
Maybe,
man.
maybe.
It's
They're
like
gonna
I
be
was
like, you
listening
get
to
it, you
a.
peasants.
Well, it's funny because I was listening to a podcast today, and they were talking about. This is kind of off topic, but they were talking about aliens, right? And how
Yeah.
people are always talking about the concept of aliens and like how and why and where they exist, right? And they were talking about when the president becomes the president, you know, you were assuming that the government, the institution that is the government, has some idea of what's going on, right? That they're trying to withhold from the general public. And
Mhm.
they're talking about the concept of like when they bring in a new president, do they like sit them down at a table and they're like, okay, listen, we're going to tell you this super special information that you literally cannot talk about, but you need to know for whatever security reasons. But like, if you talk about it, we're going to take out your whole family, right? Do you think
Right.
that that's a possibility with the president? It could be, right? So
Yeah.
when you think about with politics and brain chips, do you think that they would take that risk? That their confidential information that they'll tell whoever the next president is, would you think they would risk that
Yeah.
getting out like that?
Fair. Yeah. You bring up a good point on that.
I'm just saying. It's a
What,
little
like,
it's a little
It's
bit of a
valid.
round circle to get to, but I'm
I see what you're
curious, you
saying.
know?
I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. I think it's just, yeah, because we don't know the long-term neurological damage of adding electrons to our brain. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
think
We
Elon will
already.
come out with this Neuralink and shit, but what happens after 30 years of having a fucking little thing pump electricity in your head?
Oh, brain damage.
Well, not only that, technology does not last that long.
Yeah.
We know this even just from the way that we are with cell phones and cars, like the technology doesn't last long. Even Teslas, the technology does not last very long. So it's like you're going to have to constantly be able to afford the upgrade,
Mhm.
and you're going to need the upgrade. So you're going to have to be able to afford the upgrade. And it also comes into that weird dystopian type world that we see in movies where there's the poor people who can't afford anything. It's like, how is the dynamic going to work, right?
Yeah.
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 It's going to be very weird.
Speaking
Very, very
about
weird.
Teslas and Elon Musk, before coming onto the podcast, I was reading 1 out of 4 Teslas has been recalled in the
Wow.
United
Yeah,
States
they're trash.
because
But
One
they're
out of
blown up.
4.
1 out of 4,
That's
yeah.
yeah.
wild. That's wild.
Well,
I
because think
know,
of
but
this. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, are you ready on your same scary theory as this short one? Is
Mhm.
like a subscription based lifestyle. The more integrated we're gonna get, you're gonna have to pay to subscribe to Netflix. You're gonna have
I
to
was
pay to
thinking
go to your
about that.
Amazon Prime. You're gonna have to
I was just
subscribe
thinking about
to
that.
everything.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I was talking about this with a friend recently, right? Because from what I know, Tesla's trying to produce a car that is a cheaper value so that more people can afford it, right? He's
Mhm.
wanting it to be more so like the everyday man like you or me could afford it, right? I think it was like something under 10 grand, which
Oh,
Yeah.
still
okay.
is not really an everyman,
U-
but whatever, Tesla.
USD though, right? That's
Right.
definitely you.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
Oh
it's
yeah.
supposed to. It was
Yeah.
supposed to be like even cheap. Like it's supposed to be really cheap. I don't really know all the details, but that was what we said, right?
Mhm.
And they said to me, they're like, "Oh yeah, like I really want to get it. Like I think that would be so cool, and all of this stuff, right?"
Mm-hmm.
And I posed the idea here. I was like, "What happens if the car breaks down?" And they're like, "Well, then I take it in to be repaired." And I was like, "Okay, so where are you taking your spaceship to be repaired?"
Bishop.
And they're like, "Well, the mechanic." And I was like, "Okay, so let's say you're on like a super long, like 6-hour drive up north, right? Who the fuck out there is gonna repair your spaceship?"
She's learning,
And
Bailey. She's learning. I love it. She's
and
learning.
he's like, well, I'm sure somebody and like it has an engine." And I was like, "No, dude, Teslas require special mechanics. So you would
Exactly.
have to tow that stupid spaceship from 6 hours away back to the city because they don't do that up north. to the city to repair it. So, is that cheap spaceship really worth it? And he was like, maybe I don't want a spaceship anymore. I thought, that's what I thought.
Bailey, I think we can talk about Wine Mom graduating to becoming a leftist now.
Yeah.
But you are totally right. I have used that questioning line before, and it stumps them. The
Yeah.
biggest one, they're like, not, and I think I was telling Bailey about this. How many mechanics are specialized to work on Teslas? Not fucking many, because
Dude.
it's still a new car.
Yeah, bro. A
The
lot of
guy-
people
there's-
neglect that about just regular ass luxury cars too, though.
I was just gonna say that I have a guy that lives where I live, and he's like the mechanic guy that if you have an issue with your car, you take it to him because he's local and cheap and fast. But even he's like, yeah, my knowledge only goes.
Yeah,
I can't do much for you other than fix this thing.
Yeah,
You
he's
know?
honest about it. That's what I like about that shit. Like,
Mhm.
we have a mechanic that's like that too. And he even said himself, these Tesla cars, no mechanic
No.
should be spending time and effort learning how to fix it, because they are made to break easily, so you have to get a new car on its own, because getting a new battery is just almost the same price as getting a new car, and they're harder to get because every other year I think they're releasing newer models, and the batteries
Yeah.
don't last. The interesting part about this is that ask any Tesla driver, they'll be like, yeah, I'm doing it for the environment. One of my friends' friend who's studying the environment in uni, she's saying to produce a Tesla, like to make it it's almost on the same level as extracting oil.
They
Well,
will they will
environment.
statistically run out of lithium before they can complete their entire production line that they have promised of their current
Yeah.
Tesla loadout.
So
So they have
if
to
you
figure out a new battery. They've overpromised. So Tesla literally doesn't know how he's going to make the batteries yet.
okay, Tesla's dead, Bailey, but
Well, yeah, come on, because it's the company, because it's not him. Elon walks in the room and says, "Make this shit, dig a tunnel, guys," and then walks out, and they
Yeah.
got to figure
Yes,
it out.
yes, boss, I have Rona. Who cares? No, but yeah, so like I think what he's making is like good for like status, and
Yeah.
like saying that you bought a Tesla, but now
So
yeah.
you hate Tesla. How does this relate back to our subscription-based lifestyle?
No,
Do you think they're gonna make you subscribe to run a Tesla?
Oh, well, not just. I think they're going to give you a subscription service to like either like have like new like maybe like
Oh, that's a good
batteries.
point. I seen that.
Um,
I seen that they're installing like battery changing stations already. I actually did see that.
yeah, there's like two near me, which is weird because my town, not very many people own Teslas. So I just I think that like anything related to Elon Musk is going to be detrimental to the environment. That's where I'm coming from. So like,
I just feel like he's this weird spaceman, and everyone just has this weird hype around this weird spaceman, and it's just like it feels very much like a very long trend that's
yeah,
eventually gonna
Yeah.
have to end
like
because he can't keep going.
I like how he thinks of himself as Tony Stark, but he's literally the antithesis of Tony Stark.
Yes, I
Mm.
agree. I agree,
Yeah.
and that's what drives me up the wall. The more we bitch about him, I had that weird central stance at the beginning, and now it's like I'm just getting sick of how smart he likes to pretend he is. He walks in a room with a kooky idea and a lot of geniuses that he never credits make it happen.
Wine Mom, when we spoke about I remember
Mhm.
this time last year when we were talking about Elon Musk and billionaires. This man was defending these guys Like they're dads, and now he's doing a
know.
complete. No, I'm proud of him. He's done a complete 180 of
But
rich.
it's hard. But the thing is, people who love Elon, I don't blame them.
I
That's the
do.
thing. I don't blame them because, listen, because he's almost become this like
Cult.
mystical creature
Yeah.
almost because he's presented as this like uber intelligent man that like because the thing is like everybody's looking at Elon like we're relying on him for the future of technology. But there's
Yes.
literally
Yeah.
so many more men who are unrecognized and working on things of value besides a space car
Yeah.
that don't get any recognition or even just acknowledgement at all. And it's
And
like
Right.
I get it because he's like a hype figure. He's a character. This is the thing. He's like everybody loves Kanye and loves to discuss Kanye because yes, Kanye is intelligent, but he's also like a cartoon character.
Yeah.
That's the
Oh
thing.
yeah.
And Elon is like a cartoon character. Like
mhm.
the guy had no hair, and all of a sudden he's got a full. Like you're a cartoon character, bro. Like
Yeah.
you're like a Build-A-Bear. Like what's going on? I don't understand you.
And like what people and I don't want to speculate anything, but what people and I kind of will because I don't know how to talk
Yeah,
well,
I
but
was gonna say.
uh um uh I do people don't his fanboys don't really understand that he's he's dry humping the legal line with all of his stuff. Like he's just like very he's he's going into this gray area with with all this stock stuff, with all this trading stuff. Like if you look into it, he's doing some very not on board stuff. Let's just say
So
that.
Yeah.
the only, and it's not an excuse. The only thing there though is every rich person is doing that. That's like a
Yeah.
1% problem, not just an Elon problem. That's
Oh no,
like
yeah,
all
that's.
of corporatization problem.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, no, we're talking specifically about Elon. Hopefully, the fanboys who are listening to us will be unindoctrinated by him and see that maybe he's being a little bit of a.
No, I just want to see
bad guy.
Daddy's emeralds. I want to see Daddy's emeralds.
Oh yeah,
I just
yeah. Sorry.
no, I just feel like as people because we talk about this regularly. It's like it's fine to idolize people and like well, it's not really fine to idolize people, but it's fine to like idealize people, I guess.
Mhm.
But
Like some
also
people.
like question people and be a little bit realistic, especially when it comes to someone like Elon Musk, who because we talked about this not that long ago where I called out Elon and I said, if you want to flex, bro, flex. It's like you should be more concerned or at least questioning like somebody who claims all of these very big things but doesn't do them when he has the more than enough
Yes.
ability to do so.
Yeah.
So is he genuinely trying to further society or
Mm-mm.
is he trying to pat his pockets or not even so much pat his pockets but fuel his own childlike ideas that he never let go of?
That's 100.
So,
And like
so
his. Sorry.
if I may continue the topic and take it away from Elon Musk, because
No.
my mom gave me because that's the segue, right? As you're saying that about Elon, that it's about childishness, it's his own interests and how much money he can make, right?
Mm-hmm.
When we're looking at NFTs and crypto bros and the changing economy that's in front of us right now, keep that thought in mind because each and every one of them, even the good guys, as we enter this new digital space, it could be an influencer you trust or some innovator. In the end, all these innovations that are happening for these digital marketplaces like the NFTs or creating an island where you can buy a house, it's all about them making money at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since we're talking about NFTs, this USB stick, I don't know, guys, if you can see it, has a bunch of NFTs on it.
Shh.
It doesn't! I'm fucking doing a skit, one mom.
But
Jeez, Russell.
Smart.
that's
And
that's what I think is neglected about this. I think a lot of people are being tricked into this digital space, unaware that many of the people leading them to it are wanting them to drink the poisoned water. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. So like it's just like and it's bringing up this whole issue of what copyright is. Like,
Yeah.
do you actually own it? What happens when someone like me right clicks it? Do they own it? And does the more people who do that right clicking action, does it bring down the value of the of the of the thing? That's the issue. Right, Bailey? Right,
It
Lionel?
does, and then
Cool.
that's where it ties together to go back to our first topic, and it becomes a big mess of a mystery because we have no idea how we're going to interact with the internet. Because what if eventually Raza needs to only have his wireless internet space, so it's easier to keep your NFT in your head chip or some crap, you know?
Yeah, but then you could just
Yeah.
right click that shit.
See, this is the thing. Like, this is the thing when it comes to NFT, because I've thought about it a lot. I've actually thought about it a lot. I've considered NFTs a lot more than I'm comfortable admitting. Okay,
Okay.
Bless us.
it's like I respect what's going on, and I don't want to be the person that's like trying to ruin everyone's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it literally makes no sense,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
it's literally like a big game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's like people online are like, oh, like, why would you want to own a one of a kind piece of artwork that's worth millions of dollars? It's like, okay, we're not talking about a Rembrandt. Okay, we're not. It's not a Van Gogh. All right, we're talking
Yeah.
about some guy with really good Photoshop skills
No,
making
not
a
even.
gorilla.
Have you seen these
Monkeys. No,
NFTs?
they're
They're
bad.
shit.
They're bad.
They're bad. Sorry.
making these gorilla characters, right? And everyone's hyping over them. And celebrities are buying their look-alike gorillas because it's cool. And it's like, it's
Yeah.
become, to me, it feels very much like sneaker bros who have just gone into, like, who've just moved over to,
yeah.
like, it's very hype beast. That's the thing. When I think about NFTs, I think hype beast, which I think like
Yeah.
Supreme and those brands where people are spending like thousands of dollars on hats and weird bunnies and trading and buying sneakers. And like, literally, we all forgotten that there was like literally 5 years where there was, I shit you not, a shoe stock market was basically what Facebook was. It was literally a place for people to buy and sell and trade like luxury, name brand, rare sneakers. And like now we're just doing that with something else, which is
Well, 'cause
an
there's an
electronical item.
There's an actual stock market for the shoes now. That's why. That's what I think
Well, this
more
is
of
the
the shit
thing.
will look like. I think it will look a lot more like StockX. There'll be a lot more companies like StockX popping up.
Yeah.
I just like, the thing is like, I don't, because the big thing is I don't want to be a pauper. People who are making money and having a good time doing NFTs, bravo, bro. Have a
No,
great
bravo.
time.
It's the most like
No.
fucking.
Have a great time, but also like be realistic and realize like this is a hype thing. Genuinely, this is a hype thing. And I feel like it's gonna get old because people are gonna be like, cool, bro, you got a bunch of JPEGs for millions of dollars. Just
So
like
you
people
don't
are like,
think-
cool, you spent a lot of money on shoes. Like, I don't care.
So you think in no capacity, you think they'll just be completely irrelevant. Everyone will just have wallets with dressed up monkeys in them and they'll be worthless.
I don't think they'll be worthless, but I think people care less. It'll be like, yeah, this thing is
I see
still,
what you're saying.
it's the
I
same
see what
thing.
you're
Like,
saying, yeah.
Okay.
it's like
I
when
can
you go
agree.
online, like, okay, but expensive art is still expensive art, regardless if people care about it or not.
It's one of a kind. That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
But I
But
mean, I
yeah.
know it's not one of a kind, Raza, but my point is, there are things that people still. But listen, though, there are things that people. Okay, think of it this way: if you have a record, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and there's
Yeah.
5 of this record in existence, and yours happens to be in the best condition, okay, you have the one that is literally a 10 out of 10 on the scale of best condition that you can have of this one record.
Mm-hmm.
That means fuck all to me. I don't give a shit about your expensive, fancy record. I don't know these people. It doesn't fucking matter to me. I don't care. But guess what? There's somebody out there that will pay you more than you think it's worth.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with NFTs. Eventually, they'll get to the point where it's like, cool, you have this expensive NFT. I don't fucking care. But
Mhm.
Jimmy down the street, he'll
He
pay you
will.
double
Yeah,
because
definitely.
because he wants it.
And that's
Yeah.
like our that's how we as capitalists think. Because if it's cool, like we will always buy things, no matter how dumb it is. If it
Mhm.
has this like this Supreme example you brought up, there are people lining up to buy a Supreme brick because it has a
Yeah.
Supreme logo or Supreme money gun or whatever it's called,
Mhm.
because of the name. So we are a society, and I think it's a developed world thing because the third world countries can't afford to do this. But like a developed country thing, like we always need to uh, pay into trends. You always need to be a part of something.
Okay.
I
That's pretty
guess I don't
stupid.
know.
Well,
I feel like
here's the
that's a
big.
big. I think everyone's a victim of consumerism in many ways.
I think what it comes down to, what it ultimately comes down to, is like we live in a world where literally nothing is an idea. Nothing in this world is an original idea. Everything has been done and redone and maybe slightly changed, edited,
Mhm,
whatever, right?
mhm,
But when you have the number one thing of that hype thing, people obsess over it. And that's why NFTs work. Because sure, you can right click save. Of course. Why not? You can print screen, you can screenshot, you can do all that bullshit, right?
mhm.
But at the end of the day, you don't have that JPEG file with the original data from the original creator. You don't have that. It's the
Yeah.
same thing when you buy art prints. Cool, great. I love art prints. I buy them all the time. But
Mhm,
I don't have the original art print. So it's like, cool, I have it, but I don't have G, right?
mhm.
It's the reason why place like shows like Pawn Stars were
It's-
so popular because they were buying original one of a kind items. It's the same reason why people buy movie merch, right?
yeah,
Do you
scarcity.
know that the axe from The Shining is literally worth hundreds of thousands of dollars?
Shit.
Because it
Alright.
is the axe from the movie. It's the only one that was used by Jack Nicholson in the movie from 19 whatever. And so people, they obsess over that idea, and that's why it'll always have value. They'll always have
Mhm,
value forever. Even
mhm.
if you don't think so, somebody's always going to say,
Yeah,
"Wow, that's valuable to me."
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why.
Mhm.
That's where I think Roz is a pessimist. Roz thinks all this shit's gonna crash like a bubble. That's why I don't think it's gonna
I
It is
mean,
a
completely
bubble.
I
collapse.
think
It is a
he's right
bubble.
though, Bailey. I
It
think
is a
it
bubble.
will. I think it'll
Yeah.
only stay popular in exclusivity. That's why Supreme works is because Supreme
Mhm,
releases 5 of one item. So 5 people, only 5 people in the world can have the Supreme brick. You know what I mean? But those are the people who have the money, the notoriety,
like,
and
yeah,
that's why.
I
NFTs will be an
just
exclusive thing. Like it'll be like as you said, like only select people who care enough about it.
Yeah.
Well, like, it'll still be here. There won't be a crash. It'll be like just people will stop paying attention to it, but it'll
Yeah, it
be
just won't care as much.
people with a large sum of money will still be able to keep it afloat because they're able to aff- afford it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like me.
I think it will be a competitive digital marketplace. I think it will be an alternative to like fine art sales. I think it will continue to persist and it will probably dwindle, like y'all are saying. But there's already too many people with dirty money that have vested interest to let it die.
Well, that's the thing is like that's why I think it'll stay popular for some people. Because that's why people still buy and trade stocks. That's why people still buy and trade luxury clothing and expensive purses and shoes and shit. Like, you don't see a lot of people talking about brand shoes and like the shoe game hustle, but like that shit is still thriving.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still real popular. And it's shady characters that are selling and buying and trading these shoes. You know what I
Hmm,
mean?
It's
And
hmm.
it's a
there's
lot
something
better.
to that.
Have you been on StockX? Have you seen this? You got to look
No,
at
I don't go
StockX
on.
after. It did
I
so.
but listen, Bailey, I
That's the
believe
stock.
you.
Yeah. So
And I
it's a
give you.
third party verifier, right? So now all of those merch sales, they're all verified by a company now for minimal charge. So you don't have to deal with any of
Okay.
that worry anymore.
So I'm gonna give it to you, right? I'm saying yes, you're right. It's gonna still remain popular, but not to the degree that it is now.
Yeah, okay. Fair.
Yeah, like there isn't gonna be like like NFTs is still gonna be a thing. It's just not gonna be like how
Yeah.
big it is. Like it isn't going anywhere.
But I mean, like,
We're not saying that.
think about when Schmonly Schmans started, right?
Mhm.
People went wild. The kind of money people were making off it was full haywire. Now, okay, it's kind of meh. You can't really make the money you made before.
Yeah.
Somebody ruined it for everybody else, like they always do.
Or
Some fucking celebrity and like
sorry.
ruined it. You
Yeah.
know, and it's the same thing with Cameo. Cameo was really poppin'. It was really cool. I don't know about how you guys felt about it, but everyone was obsessed because you
My
could
friend
get
told me
messages,
cameo.
right? But you could get messages from cool, unique people
Yeah.
online, so everyone
Mhm.
was into it. And then celebrities started getting into it, and people were like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, well that now it's for people to get their message from John Travolta." You know what I mean?
I disagree. I think the two examples you gave just became like different types of services. Like
Yeah,
they
but
had
they're
their hype,
not
like you said, like everyone wanted the exclusivity, and then it just became a normal everyday. Like Schmolny
Well,
Schmans is
how do you
just a
disagree with me
regular
then?
service now. Because you're making it sound like Schmolny Schmans or the secondary argument that they like failed in some capacity by not maintaining the hype.
So I don't think that they failed, and I don't think that NFTs are going to necessarily fail. I just think they're not going to matter the same anymore because the Schmoly Schmans has truly, Bailey. Honestly, if you think about it, it's really lost the hype. It really has. Now, if somebody
I think.
has an account, people are like, "Cool, great, get your bag." Whereas before, it was like, "Oh my gosh, let's leak content, let's do this," and there was
Yeah.
Reddits and there was all this stuff, and everybody was going wild, and people were filing complaints and getting charged, and then all this crazy stuff was going on. But now people are kind of like, "Ah, your schmonly schmans is your we don't
Yeah.
we don't care. Just do your get your
I,
bag, sis."
what I'm thinking because I think the NFTs will go towards that route. Like, uh, it won't
But
fail, but people will be like, "Oh, you're doing it?
cool.
Great, yeah, great." It like and it'll be like a select like group of people that will
Fair.
Yeah.
be doing
Fair.
Like
that.
when people
I
used to
just think it
collect
will be a
coins and
very
stamp
wealthy.
collections.
I think it will just be a very wealthy, influential bunch of people in contrast to
Unless
coin
it's people like
collectors.
me
You
who
know.
keep on right clicking it, Bailey. Right click away.
All right.
Listen,
So,
I respect your opinion, Billy. Everything has its day, and the day is coming.
all right. Mark this
We're
for the
all bored
future
in
fans.
COVID.
Us.
That's why.
Come get us in 20 years when we're still broke and stream into the internet and call
It's
us idiots because we're all probably wrong.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
seen these NFTs though? My niece, who doesn't have the same, uh, Isla, I'm talking about you. My niece, who is one of the most hippest girls right now on the planet. She is teaching me how to use TikTok now. Um, uh, she can make better NFTs, like drawings and stuff like that. Because it's all like the moment when a celebrity gets evolved into it, the hype just gets out of hand, and like we're seeing
See,
what
continue. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
we're like what's his face from It's Always Sunny, Mac, the guy who plays Mac, he posted an NFT, and he was bullied to delete it, and then like I feel like, which is something we should do, ostracize members of our community for not following our values
Yeah,
more
exactly.
so.
That's why it's
Yeah.
like it's a weird middle ground. Like you're saying, maybe you shouldn't completely shit on people. Like, yeah, some of the quality is terrible of them, but then that's like the concept is about so much more than the value of the JPEG. Because soon that JPEG's gonna be a virtual chair, or will be like the whole clip of something, or
Once it
episode of our video or some crap. You know what I mean?
if it gets like that, I will hand in my chips and retire from like society. I will
Okay, mark
you
this.
will
Clip this. Clip this.
you will see me in a retirement home because I don't want to deal with any of this. Society sucks.
Get ready then. You got like 10 years, bucko.
No, I got 5 years.
Oh gosh.
All right. So, the last segment of the day, we close out our podcast with actually 2 more. We have got our Reddit advice section, which soon we're going to fill with your advice. We're going to do a post, but if you want to, you can email us at Marching Into Madness or DM us with a question for advice, and we'll do it on air, which will go to our Spotify podcast.
Also, DM me some cheesecake recipes, please. I need to make
Cheesecake
some fire cheesecake. I need to know this.
All right, so Raza picked what seems to be an interesting one this week. It is, should I read the title or go into it mysterious?
Going to mysterious, yeah.
Okay, we're going
Ooh.
into it mysterious. It's an Am I the Asshole? So, my 17 female twin cousins, 8 male. It's like, okay, I'm 17 female, and the twin cousins are both 8 and male, right? Have been staying with us for the last week while their parents are getting their house renovated. They're insanely mischievous. They keep running into my room, upending everything, throwing all my stuff everywhere, trying different passwords to unlock my desktop. If I latch the door, they'll bang at it until I let them in. Every time I or their parents yell at them, they get more amused. I discovered they're both arachnophobic. So I printed out a massive spider poster, and for each of my walls, my floor, my cupboard, the side of my bed, and my door. Now they cry every time they see these spider posters and can't enter the room without looking at one of them. I removed the one from my door when their parents complained, but I'm keeping the ones in my room to help keep them out. Their parents are okay with that, but the boys are begging me to get rid of these spider posters, and my own parents are telling me that I'm being cruel. Am I the asshole for using my cousin's fears of spiders against them to tell them to screw off?
Okay, so no, because I use the same tactic on myself. Well, not on me, but on my cousins. I just put, because they're afraid of my cat, or they were afraid of my cat, and I just made sure my cat was in my room the entire time, and they wouldn't be able to go in my room. So.
Okay, I think having your own kitty and utilizing a pre-existing kitty is fair game. I think taking advantage of their arachnophobia could be a little manipulative. But I don't know if I would go full asshole, but I would say it is mean, and
There's a word for this, Bailey. There's a word for this, and I'm gonna say it on stream. Bailey is soft.
Bruh, okay, I am soft. I'm just saying, maybe after you scare the shit out of them like 2 times, you go, have you learned your lesson, you little fucko? Because
I don't think 8-year-old.
Otherwise, you're also being a bad influence because you're teaching them like, hey kid, next time you're encountering an inconvenience, just scare the shit out of them until they leave you alone.
So it's their parents' job to teach them that.
Okay, so if anybody wants my opinion,
get in there.
Absolutely in no way whatsoever is this kid the asshole. Because I've had a younger sibling, and if you can't get space, it just creates animosity and a problem. So, no. If they're not getting the leave me alone, then that's just too bad. You have to learn, you have to learn eventually.
This is so funny.
I'm seriously. Listen, I've had to go to extreme measures as a younger person to teach my sister a lesson. So there are no regrets. Okay.
Yeah.
We don't have any problems here.
Like my one cousin's I think 6-year-old, I think they're 6 or 7. I forget how old they are. But they harass me like there's no tomorrow. Like they bite my shit. And so scaring them a little bit, maybe I should do it. It's basically tit for tat. I'm always at Adam. Like it's always a war game between me and these 7 year olds, and I'm always winning.
I would hope
I'm gonna be a
so.
good dad, by the way.
I
I'm
would
gonna be a
hope
good
so.
dad.
If you reported that you were losing the war, I would be a little disappointed in you.
Buddy, Home Alone. It's possible. Have you not seen Home Alone? The two older gentlemen get their asses handed to them by a.
Yeah.
How old was he in that? Like 10 or something?
Yeah. Kids
So,
are
why,
vicious,
Mom?
bro. And I had like cousins too that were just bad. It's yeah. No.
So, considering I know you have plenty of vicious stories to close off this
Mhm.
section, Wine Mom,
Oh
give
gosh.
us the best prank, like kid prank you witnessed. You gotta have one up your sleeve there.
I'm not a witnesser of prank. I am the
You were?
prankster.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
you are the prank. I am the prank.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what was the best friendly
I'm gonna
prank
fucking
that
clip
was
this
performed?
like the Joker's
I
face.
can't
behind.
even I'm pretty sure I've told this story on the stream. Okay, I'll tell the meanest thing I ever did to my sister when we were kids. She dressed up as a wizard for Halloween one year. I don't know why that was the choice, but whatever.
Okay.
And she used to take ridiculous, like so long in the shower to the point where it was like you were gonna pee your pants because you were just waiting like 2 hours for this kid to finish in the bathroom.
Mhm.
So what I did is I went into her room and I took the glove, the wizard glove, and I put it on, and I very quietly snuck into the washroom. And I went to the front.
Oh
I
my
went to the
God.
front of the shower. You
I
know,
see
like
where
where
this
the
is going.
handle is, and like where
Yeah.
you would be directly looking when you're standing, not showering, farting around, just standing in the hot water. And I slowly stuck my hand through the curtain.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bailey
Like
asked you.
bloody murder.
Bailey
Bloody
asked
murder.
you how you like what's a good prank, and you just told him how to kill
Yeah.
Yeah,
somebody.
how to give your sister a heart attack 101.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
But I mean, like that was like the meanest thing. That's probably about as far as like mean goes.
That's pretty funny.
But literally everyone who's ever been like a good friend of mine or spent a lot of time, especially in my childhood home, I literally did everything I possibly could to scare everyone. Like I was the queen of jump scares and like hiding behind doors and
Of
like
course you were.
shouting boo.
Hmm.
I literally, one of my exes, I literally spent like 5 years basically trying to jump scare him. Like, I love jump scaring people because I'm
I-
so jumpy. It happens to me all the time. So I just do it
What
to
is the
everybody else.
entertainment value? What is the entertainment value?
Have you ever
Pain.
seen
Pain,
somebody
Bailey.
scared? It's
Like-
so funny.
Like are like I feel
Listen,
bad
darling.
for my mom because she's so jumpy. So even when you walk into a room and she isn't looking, you say, "Hey, mom," she jumps.
Me
Like,
too.
"Ah!" And then while I was working on the computer yesterday with my headphones on, my dad was just looking at was just looking in the doorway, and he says, "Look, it looks good." I swear to God, I died. I had an out of body experience. That was terrifying. So if you're like that, then I don't want to, deal with that. Don't do that.
I probably will.
Damn it!
Okay.
I
don't-
literally do it to everyone. I can't help it. It's my favorite thing.
I don't
sorry.
like this game, Raza. Don't make her start this game if we start hanging out more often because I don't like this game.
So you it's gonna be Halloween every fucking day apparently. So
Yes.
let's get it.
This is the thing. This is the thing. At my old job, I've told you guys this before. At my old job, I would play pranks on my boss and coworkers.
Yeah. And
I
then
love it.
that's
I think it's
how
fun. Why is everybody gonna be so boring?
No,
we're
pranks
not
are
boring.
fine.
We just like
The
to
spooky
have our
game?
hearts Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I just like
it's
to
okay.
like keep
I
my
will
rhythm
prank.
intact. You can
I will
prank.
prank you. I will prank you in a non-scary way, but I will jump scare you. I'm
Yeah, it's gonna
sorry.
be Bailey
No
when she
jump
says she's gonna
scares.
prank you in a
I
non-scary
will.
way. It's gonna be like her putting on like going in like 6 hours into like prosthetic like makeup and like showing up at your house as like the ring girl, and she's like pranked ya. See, not scary, and you're like peeing.
No, I would do some. I would do something. I would do. I have an idea of what I would like, Bailey. I'm not. I'm not gonna say it here because then it gives it away.
Could. Yeah, no, I don't want to hear it either. I don't like this. I don't like
It
this.
won't be scary. It won't be scary, but
Okay.
it'll make you mad.
All right.
That's even
Well,
better.
whatever.
That's
On
even
that
better.
note, I've got our tweet of the day, and then let's close out the
Yes.
pod for today. All right.
Say
So,
who it's from though. Say
tweet of the
who it's
day.
from.
It's from Paps Blue Ribbon, and it's quite an iconic one. I had to scribble a letter out because Rosa didn't warn me, and I only realized right immediately.
What?
So
I didn't.
PBR.
I thought that word is
PBR.
fine.
I don't know. I think it's the phrase. But so PBR
Okay.
tweeted, "Not drinking this January. Try eating ass."
And they deleted the tweet. I don't know why. It's such a banger too. I don't know why they deleted it.
Wild.
There's no way that they were supposed to keep that up. That's why, of course, they deleted that tweet. That's a full ass brand, bro.
It's a beer company. It's one of the
I must have
shittiest
been a
beers.
boo-boo.
So it's like
It is
their
one of the
bar,
shittiest ones.
their bar for being good brand is like at the earth's core already. But to say that phrase is not above them.
That's fair. But
Right?
so
Am I insane? No, I'm not.
no, you're not insane. But so we had a crazy day, which made us all feel insane. We had to navigate what our reality might look like in the future, and whether or not we hate it and probably do not want to exist in it. So, Wine Mom, since you are the overlord and caretaker of this bunch,
Yes.
please provide your one
Yeah.
piece of
sorry.
advice on how to navigate our new digital lifestyle.
Do it or don't do it, basically. So,
To the point. I like it.
It's
I
a
like
Drake
it.
song.
that's it.
All right. So with that, kids, if you want to hang out, we chat with the stream
Tell
afterwards.
them the big
and-
news. Tell them the big news.
Well, we have to wait for approval, but we got affiliate.
Okay.
Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Celebrations for days. I'm gonna get drunk right
did
now.
it.
But so soon enough, you guys will set up sub goals. You'll be able to do bits. We'll probably have some way. The bits may be a good way for people to interact with us while we're actually recording the pod. Who knows?
Yes.
Maybe you should tune into the stream if you're listening to this on Spotify to hang out, because we hang out afterwards when we're done. So, kids, you want the rest of the info? It's going to be given to you by Recorded Bayley and Recorded Raza and Recorded Wine Mom in a second. We'll be right back.
Thank you again for watching us badly talk about these topics.
You can follow us on Twitch, Marching Into Madness, all one word, no space. On the gram, marching_into_madness, and on Patreon at patreon.com/marchingintomadness. And again on Le Discord at Marching Into Madness.
Join us, and Bailey will pay you 10 whole Canadian dollars.
You can follow Whitey over at gnarly_media on the Insta. You must definitely follow the life of our whole podcast, Wine Mom, at X Wine Mom X, because the year's 2002, and we still have the X in our names. And me, your favorite brown boy, at _r Malik _.
Thank you for the third time. We love you. Drink some milk and be healthy.
Remember, kids, say no to school and yes to
It's like such bad advice. It's like here we put this well-formulated podcast together with good insight on facts and truth and political points and social issues. Don't go to school, dude.
Oh god.
Bailey listens to
Motherfucker
me.
shouldn't be in their school after saying that.
It's like Bailey listens to me say the sentence and he goes, maybe I should say my sentence now.